India is embracing AI.
We are trying to mimic the human intelligence. The whole idea of artificial intelligence is how can we empower the human intelligence with mission support.
The South Asian nation has big plans to become an AI powerhouse by 2030.
If we put our minds to it in terms of focus, in terms of resources and a mission mode, we will do it.
But at the moment, it's playing catch-up to the AI front-runners.
US and China are much ahead when it comes to investments in AI research, investments in compute, infrastructure, all of it.
But India isn't seeking to simply join the race. It wants to use AI to solve the country's problems at scale.
Can we make sure that the AI built is inclusive? It actually reduces the disparity between the rich and the poor and maybe pull up people from the poor sections.
But will this cutting-edge tech be a boon or bust for a country of 1.4 billion?
I think a lot of jobs are going to go. AI can do that job 100 times better for 1,000th of the cost.
This robot is learning how to walk. Not through fixed instructions, not through manual controls. It is learning through literal baby steps.
What we use is what is called reinforcement learning. A robot is put in a simulated environment and it's run through different scenarios where it's trying out different combinations of motions and it figures out the best among those. So it's a continuous process where it learns. It's just like how a human child learns. So we're trying out and then as we practice, we gain the skill and we get better at it.
This robot is being built by Strider Robotics in Bengaluru, India. What powers the machine's thinking is its artificial intelligence brain.
These robots being run by controllers that manage the stability of the robot, which is trained using AI techniques, AI and machine learning techniques. So once we have the mobility solved, then we can put them to applications. So you have industrial applications and obviously there are defense applications.
A new intelligence is driving the world. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is transforming societies, revolutionizing industries, reshaping economies, and redefining how people think and act. And while the AI race has typically been framed as one amongst tech giants or between superpowers like the US and China, India is slowly but surely joining the AI race. It's ranked 4th in Stanford's AI Vibrancy Index, a measure of a country's level of AI activity, development, and impact.
I think on one hand, we have heard about all the progress in AI that has happened in Silicon Valley. There's of course the more recent development that has come out of China with Deepseek. India, there has been always some developments or work on AI, but it has been, I would say, relatively slower.
But what exactly is AI? Artificial intelligence is so named because it can learn and perform cognitive tasks like a human. In regular programming, humans write the rules. In AI, the machine learns the rules from data. It finds patterns in images, text, or speech, and learns to make predictions or decisions. AI must be trained, usually from a large data set.
We are trying to mimic the human intelligence, right? There are certain things the human can do much better. For example, if you ask me to recognize an image or a particular part in an image, I will be able to immediately do that. But whereas if I ask the machine, if we train the machine learning model and build and do it, it will take a lot of time, a lot of resources. Whereas certain things, the computers are much faster.
It can essentially work with any human being almost as a peer. So that is where the promise of AI is. So it's much bigger than computer programming in that sense. The way planes fly and the way the birds fly are very different. How they fly is very different, but the effect is the same. They are all floating in the sky. It's very similar in the sense that we want machines to think. We want machines to be able to interact with humans as if they were peers. But how you get machine to think is very different from how a human thinks.
India is betting on artificial intelligence to bring about real revolution. Last January, the country launched the AI for India 2030 initiative to drive development and adoption nationwide. In March of 2024, the government approved $1.25 billion in investments for artificial intelligence projects as part of the India AI Mission initiative. Veteran civil servant Abhishek Singh is leading the effort.
Currently, the development of AI is restricted to a few companies and a few countries. But as we move forward, there is a lot of expectations from India. I do believe that we have the capability, we have the talent, we have the human resources. The government is very proactive in providing funding support for developing AI models.
The core purpose of that was to see how we can enable AI for Indians, by Indians, for Indians, and of Indians.
India aims to be the world's third largest economy by 2030. For many sectors, AI can be transformative. One estimate has AI adding $500 billion to India's economy by 2035.
Some people have also said it is kind of like electricity. It has just changed the way humanity worked and lived before electricity and post electricity. Now, at what level it fits in, is to be determined, but it is certainly something very, very significant, I believe, personally.
India has several advantages that can propel it along the AI race. First, for a country of 1.4 billion people, digital adoption has been remarkable. India is one of the first countries to build a full-scale public digital infrastructure called India Stack. This is a suite of digital tools that can be built upon. For example, if a government agency wanted to create a platform that requires identification, it can integrate Aadhaar, a digital identity application. Or, should a business want to process sales on their website, they can use UPI, a unified instant payment system. Aadhaar has enrolled 99% of the population, while UPI has about 500 million users. And unlike in other markets, where such tools are owned by private corporations, India Stack is open and accessible to public. And now, the country wants to add AI applications to the stack.
We have a project called Bhashini, which is being supported by Government of India, under which we have developed more than 300 models, the speech-to-speech, speech-to-text, text-to-speech, text-to-text. All these models have been deployed. They have been made available to everyone. So the Bhashini project is the cornerstone of enabling services in all 22 Indian languages, and more importantly, voice-enabled services.
Where India has another advantage is talent. According to Boston Consulting Group, the South Asian nation has the second most AI specialists in the world, after the US. Close to the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, or IISc, in Bengaluru, a sprawling 75,000 square feet warehouse gathers some of the country's most exciting robotics and AI startups. Here is where engineer Aditya Varmasagi is working at Strider Robotics.
So legged robots fill in that space, where now they are able to go over terrains that are not very easily navigable by wheeled or tracked robots. So when we talk about, let's say, spaces built around human mobility, for example, let's say staircases and very narrow passageways, where you kind of need the mobility to move around, turn left, right, step sideways. So that is not possible with wheeled robots. So they have very, let's say, it's not easy to have very tight, let's say, turning radius for a wheeled robot. They walk like animals and they're able to maneuver much better than fixed mobility platforms like wheeled or tracked vehicles.
Aditya co-founded Strider Robotics in 2023 when he saw the potential in India's nascent automation sector.
So if you compare the likes of, let's say, Boston Dynamics from the US and some companies from China, they have shown much more capability than what Indian companies have shown. And Indian companies are only coming into the scene now. We're also working on, let's say, the cutting edge techniques for training these robots. But it's still a work in progress, and we have some catch up to do, so to speak, with the likes of US or China.
For India, the investment in AI goes beyond economic benefits. The potential for AI to solve its myriad problems is huge. Half of its population depends on agriculture, subject to unpredictable weather and volatile markets. Cities are bursting at the seams under the weight of rapid growth, leading to traffic paralysis, crumbling infrastructure, air pollution.
There is this idea of how can I use AI to solve certain climate change problems, issues related to, say, farming, agriculture, forestry, or even understanding climate change. I think AI can play a great role.
There are AI-based agents which will tell the weather conditions, whether flood is imminent or not, based on rainfall data which is going to occur in the next few days, or based on the river, the water levels in rivers, plus the soil data, plus the past history data. So if people are given warnings about about possible floods 3 days in advance, it really benefits people. So we have identified at least 30 solutions which are currently being tested, and they will be deployed, and once that happens, it will be really transformational for people at the last mile.
India is off the AI starting block. But where is India now in the AI contest? Have China and the US raced too far ahead? On his farm in the southern Indian state of Karnataka, 51-year-old farmer R. Murali surveys his pomegranate trees. While pomegranates are a hardy species, young trees like these need more care and attention. To help him, Murali is tapping on AI.
ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಈ ವೆದರ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ 4 ಸ್ಟೇಜನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇಳುವರಿ ತೆಗಿಬೋದು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಫಸಲ್ ಡಿವೈಸಿಂದನೇ.
Fazal is an Indian-developed AI platform. The technology monitors soil, plant, and microclimate conditions, with the AI giving farmers predictions and analysis on their crops.
So what we have built is a technology that allows crops to talk to their farmers, which is essentially their doctors, and tell them what they are feeling. When they are feeling thirsty, so they irrigate. When they are feeling hungry, so they fertigate. And when they are feeling sick because of change in climatic conditions, so they understand and treat them before they get more sick and they get damaged.
Agriculture makes up almost 1/5 of India's GDP and is largely made up of smallholders.
In farming, if you see what you need water, you need sunlight, mud, the soil. We'll have multiple devices connected and connected wirelessly, and then it will sense the data and it will keep on populating the data. Nowadays it's being processed well with the help of the AI to give you the proper result. Even it can trigger the irrigation. So let's suppose water is less in the farm. Okay, so based on the sensors and whatnot, it will automatically give the command to the sprinklers, and it will start the sprinkling.
With AI potentially boosting yields by 20 to 30%, this sector is a key pillar for India AI Mission. India AI Mission was set up by the government in 2024 to promote artificial intelligence innovation, to democratize AI benefits across all sectors of society, and establish India as a global AI leader.
So there are multiple queries which farmers can do. They can ask about crop diseases, they can ask about cropping patterns, they can ask about prices, they can ask about agri-advisories. One reason because of which our per capita incomes are low, because people at the large number of people don't do their businesses or agriculture operations or whatever they are doing efficiently. If this asymmetry of access to information is solved by using AI agents, our farmers, our small businessmen will become more efficient, and if this efficiency comes in, their incomes will go up.
Enthusiasm for AI in India is high. According to Deloitte, over 8 in 10 Indian companies are looking to adopt autonomous agents. These are AI systems that can operate without human intervention. Among the young, the fervor is even greater. In one survey, over 9 in 10 Indian students and 8 in 10 employees use generative AI, the most among Asia-Pacific countries studied.
The Indians as individuals have been, I would say, among the leading contributors to the AI technology and the AI revolution. You can take up many of the leading research publications, for example, and there will be an Indian co-author.
If you look at especially the push that is coming from the central government in terms of the support to the startups, in terms of ease of doing the business, I think we are at the right time, especially in Indian startups. If at all we want to look to build the products, I would say that it is the right time because we get all the right system.
Where India lags is in AI independence. The country does not have any notable foundational AI model to call its own, instead relying on those built by others. A foundational model is a large general-purpose machine learning model trained on massive data sets. It can then be used for a wide range of downstream tasks. Large language models, such as GPT-4, are examples of foundational models.
I think foundational models are something that must be developed in India too. I think it is a parallel activity. It's something that needs to be and should be done.
For a country of the size of India, it seems to me that we should at least have one effort, national effort, to build our own foundational model. It is expensive, and I think it is worth going down that journey in terms of the learnings, the capacity building, and so on. And it also helps us to insure ourselves in case geopolitics takes a certain direction and we get cut off from the LLM technology.
We want to use these foundational models for strategic applications, including the defense or any other strategic application that we want to use it. So when we do not know the source of data, what goes into the model, we cannot take those models into the strategic applications. So from the strategic application point of view, in my view, right, we must build our own foundational model.
But building foundational models can be expensive because of the processing resources and machine training required. For example, GPT-4 is estimated to have cost at least $100 million.
So, if I look at the US, it is mostly funded through private sector. Most of the funding came through venture capitalists or the billionaires that are there, Meta. In comparison, I would say China, of course, is a lot more government support. I think in India, we are very averse to, throwing large sums of money without knowing what the outcome is going to be.
In January this year, the Chinese shocked the world. It launched Deepseek, a large language model with capabilities comparable to OpenAI's GPT-4. What's surprising was how it was built. Deepseek reportedly cost 17 to 35 times less than GPT-4, built with a much smaller team. Chinese developers had shown what was possible with limited resources, and India can take a page out of their book.
It is very positive for teams in India because otherwise, it was going to be a very tough task for Indian entities to invest the kind of money which a Google or OpenAI has invested. But the fact that Deepseek has shown that with very smart and clever use of limited resources, you can still get very good performance and very good results. I think that is very encouraging.
India's funding is low compared to the AI frontrunners. Between 2013 and 2024, private sector investment for AI in India totaled some $11 billion, a far cry from America's $471 billion and China's $119 billion. Agri-tech firm Pfizer raised $12 million in their latest funding round, but would need more to expand to the whole country.
We have to build the technology, there's a cost associated with that. And we have limited capital with which we can go to limited places and people. if we have more capital and more support from institutions, I think there is no other blocker right now for us.
Generally, R&D intensity is low in India. In 2024, the US spent about 3.5% of its GDP on research and development. In China, it's estimated to be over 2.6%. By comparison, in India, R&D is just 0.65% of GDP.
So China is definitely advanced in their CPU as well. They are building up a lot of silicon chips to process a lot of data around the world, and they have a lot of budgets around it as well.
US and China are much ahead when it comes to investments in AI research, investments in compute, infrastructure, all of it. India's advantage has been talent. Our advantage has been the demographic dividend that we have. Our engineers are part of almost every major AI development across the world. What we had been lacking was providing them access to compute.
In this year's government budget, the government allocated about $520 million to projects directly or indirectly related to AI. In January, the government called for proposals to build India's own foundational models. In just 2 weeks, it received 67 proposals. The plan is to build 6 large-scale models by the end of the year.
I have no doubt, or not only hopeful, I'm sure that in definitely in another 2 to 3 years, India will definitely be in the top tier in terms of the AI technology, because it's already democratized. India, if you look at the AI engineers or the trained AI engineers and so on, India is having a very, very large talent pool.
20% of AI and machine learning engineers in the world are from India, right? We will build that tech. And we will build foundational models, we will lead the way.
But transformative technology also raises serious concerns about its impact.
The story of technological change has always been about certain jobs going away. What is changing this time is that people feel that it is the high value work that we think about, intellectual work, that is actually going to go away.
Will AI be a blessing or a bane in a country beset with major problems, including massive unemployment? With a click, Pankuri Gupta, who leads a global influencer marketing at a learning platform growth school, is transformed within seconds into her AI avatar.
Artificial intelligence or AI is transforming India across various sectors ranging from healthcare, agriculture, but it is also a major social disruptor. Repetitive jobs are likely to go and industries will be redesigned and transformed.
India is a nation of over 1.4 billion people and counting. What it needs are jobs. Financial services firm Natixis estimates the country must create 115 million non-farming positions by 2030 to absorb the existing and additional labor force. AI could upend all this.
There is certainly going to be a huge disruption, there is no doubt about it. And any job, if there is a job which takes digital data in and the person doing the job just produces digital data as an output, that job is under threat, because an AI model will most likely disrupt that. There will be a lot of jobs even in the IT sector which will get disrupted, and it will get automated.
In 2024, Bengaluru, India's Silicon Valley, lost over 50,000 IT jobs as companies shifted operations to AI. Other vulnerable sectors include customer support, retail, and finance. This is a red alert for a country that's already experiencing high graduate unemployment.
Anything that is of a repetitive job, like a routine coding jobs and other things, where you really no need much of a creativity, those kind of jobs will be taken away.
I think a lot of jobs are going to go. Most of the people who are doing jobs today are following templates. If this, then that. Somebody taught them how to do the work. They are here executing the same thing over and over. There are very few original thinkers. And whenever you're following a template, AI can do that job 100 times better for 1,000th of the cost, and they can work 24/7, right, without any holidays. What would this lead to? Disruption of jobs.
As the government and businesses embrace AI, there's some anxiety among Indian workers about being replaced. In an Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad survey, about 6 in 10 respondents are worried about potential job loss.
Let's suppose there is a company who is in startup, they want to hire 10 developers. They might hire only 1 or 2. Because the code has been generated by the AI, ChatGPT or Copilot, you just need to refine it with the help of those experienced developers.
The World Economic Forum, or WEF, estimates that by 2030, AI and other innovative technologies could replace 92 million workers globally. But there is a flip side to the coin. Digital transformation could also create 170 million jobs.
What is very, very important is a whole regime of upskilling, reskilling, ensuring that AI becomes part of the curriculum right from the school level. We already have brought in AI curriculum at class 10th and 12th levels. AI has been introduced in almost every engineering discipline. It's not that only computer science engineers study about AI. Today, a mechanical engineer, chemical engineers also have AI in their curriculum.
If you're out there looking for a job or want to stay ahead, one thing that you should optimize for is that how can you become that go-to person in your company or in your team when it comes to AI? Can you do that? If you can do that, you're always going to stay ahead.
A former engineer turned marketer, Vaibhav Sisinti is now a founder of one of India's largest online learning platforms, Growth School. AI courses are among the most popular on offer.
If you're AI native, you have higher odds of winning than someone with a fancy certificate and degree, right? So the game has kind of flipped where anyone would walk into a room and has all the equipped skills of artificial intelligence. They could be able to solve problems much faster than anybody else.
Varun Srinivasa is currently taking an AI generalist course at Growth School. For 15 years, Varun worked in operations, building and scaling teams from 5 people to over 300. He was happy in his comfort zone. But when he switched jobs and joined a fast-paced tech startup, it was a wake-up call.
Things were moving very fast in this firm, and before you know, you start feeling the heat on yourself because you're also delivering not just for yourself but for people who have left. At that point in time, I think it dawned on me that maybe I need to upskill myself because I knew I'd already hit a plateau and AI was something I'd already started using. So it just felt, the perfect time for me to upskill in terms of getting my AI knowledge higher.
Such training could place people like Varun in good stead as demand for expertise grows. India could have a shortfall of as many as 1 million AI professionals by 2027. The question is whether India can pivot quickly enough.
So, in order to get into that involvement, right, definitely it will going to create a lot of new jobs. For that, what we really need is we need a domain expertise. I might be a mechanical engineer today, I might be having like a less attractive jobs in the market, but if I know like how AI can be used in the mechanical applications, then if I know how to do the prompting, then obviously this is a new skill that's coming into the picture, and then I have a unique skill that others may not have. So there are a lot of potential and possibilities of innovatively creating new jobs, both in science and engineering.
I started realizing rather than just using it as a tool to move further stage 1 or stage 2 in my career, maybe I can probably take multiple leaps.
You have to become an AI generalist, someone who can solve problems using AI. And the way you go about it is by learning tools, implementing them, building SOPs for you so that you're always ahead.
But job displacement is just one of the worries around AI. Last year, the WEF listed misinformation as the world's most severe short-term risk.
AI can be used to radicalize people, certainly, it's quite possible. Because as you start relying on AI, using AI as a tool, you can start relying on AI. You will start really investing so much trust in AI. And that can certainly be misused.
Every technology has a downside to it. People can use it in ways that could make it problematic. In the last Lok Sabha election, there was a whole thing that was coming out, that is fake videos of certain people can be circulated.
In May this year, a man in Gujarat was arrested for circulating a deep fake video of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a WhatsApp group. The video used deep fake technology to morph the Prime Minister's voice and image, accompanied by visuals to spread fear and misinformation, say police. The false video included remarks about Operation Sindoor, following the Pahalgam terror attack and the Indian Army. Last year, Bollywood actor Ranveer Singh filed a police complaint over a deep-fake video that showed him making political comments. The footage altered the actor's speech at a fashion event using AI. The deep-fake video tried to influence voter behavior through misinformation.
Deep fakes and misinformation can be very, very dangerous for democracies. We saw in our elections last year, there are a lot of people who are using AI to create content, create videos, create audio of people who had not said that at all. Then there will be cyber crimes, like somebody can call your mother with your voice and ask them to give some money. So those frauds will come in. So what India AI, our strategy is to ensure that we look at regulation with the lens of user harm.
And when you start misusing, or if some goes to the wrong hands, yes, there is a potential of disruptive and also the destruction and all these things. But in terms of the intelligence, then it's all about how we build the guardrails and how we control it over a period of time. That's very important. That's the reason why every government, maybe globally, that has to come together to frame the policies, how to use this technology.
With the announced funding and initiatives for AI, it is clear the Modi government is all in on the technology. What will its course on this new frontier look like? This January, as many as 400 million Hindu pilgrims descend on Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh to bathe in the Ganges. It is the Mahakumbh Mela, the largest religious festival in the world. But there is something new at this millennia-old celebration. AI. An app using AI-assisted language translations help pilgrims find lost loved ones. At their control center, the police use machine learning to monitor human traffic, redirecting or stopping flows to prevent stampedes and crowd crush.
We want everybody to go home, happily and having fulfilled their spiritual responsibilities. So AI is helping us avoid reaching that critical crowd density at the sensitive places, especially like Sangam and all there. There's a lot of people, they want to congregate there. So yeah, it is helping us to an extent. In the real scenario, we are providing some of the persons with these kind of gadgets or these devices so that we can calculate and also understand the crowd flow and what are the times that they are taking. So this is like a huge operations scenario, and that's how we are coming up with the optimum time and how much people we can get bathed in the ghats, and how should we allow the crowd movement and the crowd flow.
As AI becomes increasingly commonplace in India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented his vision for the country at the AI Action Summit in Paris on February 11th this year.
We have made digital commerce democratic and accessible to all. This vision is the foundation of India's national AI mission. We are developing AI applications for public good. We are at the dawn of the AI age that will shape the course of humanity in intelligence to humans.
Prime Minister Modi emphasized the importance of inclusivity in India's AI journey. As countries the world over race to adopt AI, one discussion around the technology is whether it will widen or narrow inequality in what's known as the digital divide.
Can we make sure that the AI built is inclusive? It actually reduces the disparity between the rich and the poor, and maybe pull up people from the poor sections or the less fortunate sections and bring them up to speed and make them more productive into the future. And we have to make sure that this tool is being used and applied for all of society, not just for the few who have access.
For India AI Mission, the organization driving India's AI strategy, inclusivity is baked into its mission statement.
See, the whole world expects India to do something different, because we have shown that in the digital public infrastructure story, how we have used technology for improving governance, for empowering people, for transforming lives. For example, there is an AI-based application for detecting tuberculosis by looking at X-ray images. So if that solution is deployed, then in rural areas where I have X-ray machines, but I don't have qualified radiologists, this bot, this agent can bridge that gap.
Around India, many engineers are working on AI-enhanced solutions to problems faced by the rural poor. Comrado Aerospace is building a drone that can expand the access of services to those in remote places.
One of the biggest applications is emergency response. When it comes to emergency response, you can transport, blood. Blood samples for testing. If there are no specific labs in that area, you can pick up those samples and take it to the lab which can do those tests. So the biggest challenge is not going from point A to point B. The challenge is going from point A to point B reliably every day for the next 10 years from the same asset. That is where AI comes into play. And we have seen across the world, GPS denied navigation is becoming a hot topic where you don't want to rely on GPS alone. In cars, you may be able to do that, but anything airborne, you need, higher level of reliability and accuracy.
Ansar's team is working on artificial intelligence that can recognize and navigate terrain on its own without the use of satellites. The drone will be able to manage air traffic conditions autonomously.
We build large category UAVs for long-range cargo transport. We see, from topography perspective, we see temperate climate, we see cold climate and various altitudes. Our altitudes go as low as sea level and reaches up to the Himalayan ranges. So what we are building right now from the Indian context has a large potential to be exported because it can fit in any environment.
Elsewhere, Manish Jain of FLO Mobility is developing technology to handle dangerous tasks.
Dumper is moving down.
Tasks that are usually done by the poor.
So if you talk about agriculture as a sector or mining as a sector or construction as a sector, the working conditions are very bad. The way people toil around, the type of load that they need to carry, right? The working conditions are not that great, and these are not really industries that people look up to work when they grow up, right? And also the risky jobs that human beings are doing today, those might stop, which I think is in the interest of humanity rather than looking at it as a job being replaced by a robot.
Manish's robots use AI-enabled vision, making them more adaptable to harsh outdoor conditions.
During our research, we realized that LiDAR has a lot of limitations. It is not a very good sensor for outdoor environments where you have a lot of dust, snow, rains, right? When you have such environments, LiDAR doesn't give very good output because it's a laser based technology. So that gives belief to this entire thesis that camera or vision AI is the way to go, and it's super powerful. Computer vision as a technology, as a foundation, has huge capabilities. We are only limited by our ability to extract information from the image that we capture through a camera, and that is improving day by day. So that was a background where we realized that going forward, everything will be driven by vision, and the way humans drive is how the robots also will start perceiving the world.
India has big dreams for AI. The current phase of its AI roadmap spans till 2030. By then, the UN estimates that AI could contribute as much as $400 billion to its economy.
Actually, we should be looking at AI as a powerful tool and not look at AI as a threat, but as a tool. How can we use AI to do what we want to do?
If we are import this AI knowledge into it, then the India can become the superpower maybe in the future.
For now, some challenges remain. Costs continue to be prohibitive. The country's 22 official languages make it difficult to train machine learning models. And just the size of the population means getting people acquainted with the technology will be a monumental task.
One of our challenges in India has been, how do you provide quality skilling at scale? We have the pockets of excellence in educational institutions, which largely, we are kind of behind times in providing up-to-date skills. And ironically, AI can help in teaching humans and teaching Indians. We have been using humans to teach AI, but the role will reverse and AI will teach humans.
If I were to look back 15 years, I wouldn't have imagined everybody holding a smartphone, transacting through the smartphone. Even the middle class person in India who earns about 2 lakh rupees is also holding a smartphone. So in my view, we are pessimistic in the short term, but optimistic in the long term.
But for those in the AI space, they are confident that India will soon draw level with the AI frontrunners.
We've always been those who waits it out, who figures out a way to build tech in a way that scales for the country. And scaling for the country is getting access to the tech to billion users, right? And that has to happen at a cost which is unimaginable at this point of time. That is how India does it.
It is on the road, and if we put our minds to it in terms of focus, in terms of resources and a mission mode, we will do it. We can do it because we have shown that we could do things in the past. We created nuclear weapons, we created, we have this fantastic space mission and achievements, and we are as smart as anyone else in the world, so we can do it.
We are well poised to actually take us our rightful place in the order of countries which have developed AI. But yes, we have miles to go before we catch up with US and China. But the investment that are being made, I am sure that we will be amongst the top countries in the next few years.